Welcome to the Resonate Church Missoula podcast. This podcast exists to equip and encourage the members of Resonate Church to get the gospel to people, people to community, and community to mission. Thanks for listening. All right, so Kristie, I would love to hear from you how the 6th day of Month of Welcome went. Yesterday, Saturday, we were out at the Cliffs. How was it? What was your impression of the whole day?
It was so much fun.
Was it your first time doing
No.
the Cliffs, or were you here last year?
I was here last year too, and it was, I think, twice as big as last year, which was so cool. It was also
like 20 degrees warmer than last year.
Yeah, but it was great. I didn't notice that, and I think it was just such a testament to how God can change our plans and make us pivot what we're doing, but for good, because the day before, I don't know if you already talked about this in a different interview, but we were going to be on campus,
right?
And nobody was on campus, and so we thought this isn't worth it, and so we pivoted, and we went to the river and set up our tent and the snow cone machine on the bank of the river, and had music playing, and we're all waiting out in just our regular clothes, and I was wearing a dress and not dressed for it at all, and we're all carrying snow cones out into the river, and then when we'd give people snow cones, we'd invite them to cliff jumping. And it was just so fun and such an easy invite, and people weren't intimidated by it at all, and it brought in so many more people than last year, and was so fun, and yeah, it was just a great time. There were a ton of students who I didn't know at all and got to meet, and they were intimidated by us being a church. Yeah. So it was great.
Yeah, that seems to be a theme this year. people are just not thrown off by the church as much as we've seen in the past.
Yeah, whereas last year, and when I was a student on campus, I'd say that I was a part of a church, and people would sprint the other direction, and we're so closed off, and now this year, they're not even fazed by us being part of a church.
Right. It's kind of amazing how quickly this shift towards spiritual openness has happened. It's been like
I'm really
2 years
curious. Yeah.
Well, I think the chaos, cultural chaos, became so apparent, so easy to see, that quickly people are like, something's wrong here. Yeah. There's got to be something more. They're at least open to there being something more.
Yeah.
Because
and curious.
Right. Curious. Okay, so the event was a great time. I counted 148 out there, and that was like kind of toward the beginning. So I think some more people probably trickled in. We might have had 175 come through at some point. Served a lot of food, had a good time. What seemed to be the attitude from the students? So you said they seem social, they seem not afraid. What else are you sensing as the students are interacting?
I think everything you just said, they're just really open to figuring out who God is and what they believe. I think that God has just given them an openness and a curiosity about Him that I haven't seen before. And even if they're not religious or don't seem open initially, they're open to friendship.
Right.
So it's an open door to showing Jesus to them later on, even if right now in the first week they're not looking for that.
Right. And they're open to friendship even though you've already exposed yourself as a Christian, and they're not, like you said, they're not scared off by that. Yeah. They're not running away from it. Yeah. Okay. That's very encouraging, obviously. That bodes well for us and for all the other ministries on campus.
Yeah, I think that throughout the semester we're going to have more people to follow up with and who God can chip away at with His love. Right. Whereas last year, once people found out that we were part of a church, they'd run away, and we had to find a new group of students.
Right. We were constantly finding new contacts throughout the whole year.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that could be a big shift this year if we can reach kind of that. It's kind of that critical mass concept that we talk about. If we reach that early on, then you have, it's almost like a stock pond, to use a fishing analogy. Like they're already here in this contact group, or they're in these relationships, and you can pick from that group instead of having to go back out into the onto campus and try to meet new people the whole year, which can be pretty difficult.
Yeah, and having such a big group of students who are 100% gung-ho
Yeah.
about joining us for everything has been so helpful with that, because people are joining staff and students who are a group of friends instead of a group of 6 staff.
Right.
Who are trying to get them to come to things.
That's a big difference. Yeah, I think we're seeing really cool stuff happen. What kind of conversations are you either having with students when you meet them, or conversations are you overhearing our student leaders have with freshmen?
I'm overhearing our student leaders just really jump into caring about the other students' spiritual reality. And I'm seeing a lot of bravery in that, where they're being loving and they're being genuine and having small talk that's expected. But then they're unashamed to say, so do you have a church background? Why are you here? That sort of thing. And they're just going forward unafraid of rejection. Which is really cool.
That is cool. And that's a hard hurdle to get over for a lot of people. You want to make friends and then just stay in the friend realm forever, because it's really hard to jump into the spiritual conversation realm. So that's awesome to hear our students getting into that.
And I think that it's making the students feel more comfortable sticking around, because if they don't have a church background or they're not initially interested, it doesn't get awkward or the conversation doesn't end right there, and it just keeps going. So then it makes them realize, oh, they're going to ask me about this, but not push too hard and let me still come to things. Yeah,
that's really good. What are you praying for? What can the people in our church be praying for as we start looking at the rest of month of welcome? I know we have another week of events coming up for all of our villages. What can people be praying for?
Yeah, I was listening to a Devo the other day, and it was about Isaiah 40 and how for those who wait for the Lord, God gives strength to, and they will run and not grow weary, they will walk and not grow faint. And it was describing God as being, I'm going to butcher saying this word, indefatigable. It means indefatigable.
Right.
He cannot be fatigued. And it means if you're indefatigable, it means you persist tirelessly. And it was talking about how only God can be described as that, and only His love can be described as that. And I think I've really seen that character of God being shown through our team this week, and also in the hearts of the students and how open they are. So I'm praying, and you guys can pray with us, that God remains tirelessly persisting after the students at U of M, and that His love doesn't wear out, and that His love doesn't wear out coming through us, so that we can persist tirelessly regardless of how we're doing spiritually, physically, that we would be sustained by Him. Because it's a marathon for sure.
It is. This was a long, exhausting week, and our students have done a great job. But yeah, you're right. That's a great prayer, that God would be our source of energy and strength, and that God would be the one who keeps us going. That's a great prayer. Well, thank you, Kristie. It's so good to get to talk to you. And you've done a great job this week.
Thanks.
We'll talk to you later.